You're on tour right now, and you have a few guests with you.
Yeah.
Tell me about the tour and your guests.
Well, we've been on the road for about 2.5 weeks now. Mainly UK and Germany, like Northern Europe. And since we came here to Sweden a couple of days ago, we have some extra special guests at the show. Actually, we did that only for the four Swedish shows. So I have Jessica Soto joining and Tara Teresa for the Swedish shows. And Henning Basse is the main singer on the whole tour.
Yeah, as you talked about, you have lived in Sweden.
Yeah.
What was the main reason you moved here, except referred to Dream Theater?
Dream Theater?
Yeah. No, you have worked with them.
With Dream Theater?
Yeah.
No. Dream Evil is called.
Oh, yeah.
That's an American band. Dream Evil is a
Yeah.
Swedish band, yes.
I meant them. What's the, yeah.
I came here in '99 with some friends that were recording in a studio here, and I just ended up hanging out here for a couple of weeks, and then I started a band with Fredrik Nordstrom, and that was Dream Evil.
Yep.
And I just ended up hanging out here for a couple of years. You know, we started a band, and we built a band. It was after we got a record deal and started playing some gigs here and stuff. So yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time from 1999 up until 2002 here in Sweden.
Okay. And in that time, or maybe not that time, you have been involved with a couple of Swedish bands.
Well, I mean, at that time I was playing with a lot of different bands.
Yeah.
But after I left Dream Evil, I was also playing in Night Rage, Swedish death metal band. But right after that, I got a call from Arch Enemy to play with them. So that's when Chris Hammond had left the band for the first time. So anyways, I ended up touring with them in the States in 2005. We did the Ozfest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which of those bands have been the most, rewarding to work with musically?
All of it, it's all been experience for me. You get something out of every musician that you work with. Every band has been different, It's all been good times. I never had the reason why I left all those bands was because I wanted to ultimately focus on my own band, Firewind, later on, not because there was any bad blood with anybody.
And you also was offered to play in a band called Lost Horizon.
No, I don't think so. I think.
Okay.
Not that I remember of.
Okay.
No, I'm friends with Wojtek from Lost Horizon.
Okay.
And I hang out, but I don't think there was ever a question of me joining Lost Horizon.
Okay.
Maybe I remember.
Okay. I don't know. And you're now on your solo albums.
Yeah.
And you are working or you're about to start working on your second album.
Yeah, I released my debut last year, so now this is the last tour cycle of that, and I'm actually in between like this tour, recording the second one.
And as I said, you have some guests on it. Was there any one in particular you enjoyed working with the most, and was there anyone that you would like to work on but wasn't able to?
The first one, I mean, I worked. Everybody that participated on the album, they were just people that they were there for the music, and they were just happy to be there and happy to collaborate. There was no, no drama or bullshit with managements and stuff. It was, it was all very straight up. Even the people that I didn't know, we just hit them up and asked them if they wanted to be part of this, and it was just a wonderful experience. Getting to play or co-write with all these different, singers and bass players and whoever played on the album. So there are all these collaborations are very special to me because each song is like a different story. It's like a different thing, and the album has many different colors. It's not just like one sound from start to finish. So I mean, when we were discussing about who was going to be on the album and stuff, or who should be, the list was of course longer, and there were other names on the table, but some names worked, some didn't. So it doesn't really matter.
Could you tell me a little bit about the history of Firewind and the most notable growth in the band musically and fan base wise over the years?
Yeah, sure. I mean, Fire Wings the band has kept going for a while. It was basically like my baby, you know. I started back in '98. Like I did the first demos with some friends that were helping me out. It originally started like that, you know. And originally I signed a small record deal in America, and I put out the first 2 albums with mainly session, you know, studio musicians. But later on, I decided I wanted this to become a full live band, and obviously, you know, the lineup changed a few times until we became a stable band. The most, I think one of the highlight for the band came with our 4th album, Allegiance. You know, that's when the band kind of like, you know, got noticed more on an international level, and we got to do our first world tour. And then the album that followed that, The Premonition, was our most successful one. And yeah, I mean, right after that, actually, a year later, I joined Ozzy's band, but you know, I still kept on doing Firewind, and we released a couple more albums and kept on touring. So you know, it's a band that has had you know, a steady career. You know, releasing albums. You know, we've worked. You know, we were one of the hardest working bands actually in our fields. You know, we put out albums every year and did a world tour each year. So I mean, it wasn't until, you know, 2003 that we took a break. And now I'm doing the solo thing.
What's the plans for Firewind in the future?
Well, I mean, the plan is to find, because our singer quit back in 2012, the plan is to find, you know, somebody permanent, and we're working with somebody now. We're hoping that he can be the new, you know, Firewind singer, but we have to be sure about that. So we're not really rushing our decisions. I'm writing some songs on the side, and whenever I have the right material, and then, you know, if it works out with this with a new singer, we're gonna come back and put out a new album, do another world tour. Now, you know, there's talks that maybe we're gonna do some festivals. I don't know, maybe next year. I don't know, but it's, you know, like I said, I haven't made any official statements because there's nothing really right now. There's a lot of things being discussed, and I'm focusing on my solo album.
So how was it working with Ozzy on his latest album compared to any Firewind related stuff? It
was a different experience because when I went in there, everything was already written, and but the album didn't have any guitar, and they didn't have any guitar solo, so they needed somebody to take the songs and basically add guitar, because obviously, you know, the guitar playing is a big element of Ozzy's sound. So, you know, given the circumstance, I you know, did my best, and I mean, I love that album. I really love it. You know, I think it's got great songs, and it was a great experience. You know, I got to work in his own studio there for a couple of months with Kevin Churko, the producer. So yeah, it was all in all, it was a fantastic experience.
Okay. Over the years, is there something you haven't done that you would like to do, perhaps this coming year?
Well, I don't know. Just yeah, I'm hoping to do a lot more solo tours. Actually, it's been fun. You know, this is I mean, I did my solo tour last year, but this is the first time that I'm going out completely on my own, not on a co-headline tour or anything. And yeah, I'm just looking forward to other opportunities to play out there. You know, and just keep on doing what I'm doing, really, and writing more music.
And it's only 5 dates left on this tour.
Yeah.
Except the second record, what's the plans for the year?
Well, next month I'm going to South America with Ozzy. We're doing Masters of Rock Festival and a little tour in Brazil. And then what else? Then I have a few summer festivals in Europe with my solo band. We're also doing Ozfest in Mexico. And what else? And then, you know, hopefully, between all these tours and in between, I'm hoping to finish mixing and recording the new album, and just right now putting the plans for the second, for the plans after the summer. So hoping to go out and do another tour.
Cool. That was everything. Anything you'd like to add to the interview?
Oh, thanks for the interview, man. Yeah.
Cool.